It's kind of hard to talk about the obstacles that you encounter as the mom of a disabled guy because, of course, what you're thinking about more than anything else is the world from his point of view, not from your point of view. But things you notice are that everybody wants to give up on him, but there is no way to give up. There's no such thing as giving up. Everybody around you seems to be thinking that you should somehow walk away from the problem. But if you love somebody, there is no walking away. So the world doesn't really bring you any solutions. It just brings you this really strong expectation that, well, you'll take care of it and keep it out of the public view. On the other hand, if you do ask for help or need help, and you do if you have a kid with a lot of disabilities, then suddenly your life becomes a public life. So you have to go places and fill out forms explaining what I consider to be private stuff about how do you do this and how do you do that and how to do the other thing and how much money do you have, and it's kind of this weird dichotomy where the world on one hand wants to own your situation, and on the other hand they don't want to give you any real help or space or understanding. They want you to keep it out of view. And I think the reason I knew that answer for Ed, that the answer was fuck you, was that when my son was little, when he was a baby, people used to do that to me. They wouldn't say, I wish I'd rather be dead than be like you, but they'd come up and say, they'd peer into the stroller and say, oh, what's wrong with him? Over and over and over and over and over again. Now imagine every time you go to the supermarket and you have your kids with you, somebody comes up and says, what's wrong with him? None of your goddamn business, okay? Only that's not the right answer. The right answer is nothing. What's wrong with you? Once you figure that out, nobody asks you anymore. Nobody will come up to you anymore and say that kind of snide comment. So I guess the experience of having a kid with a disability is sort of trying to find that little magic space between public and private, and between my business and your business, and between don't talk to me if you don't care about it. I think families who have kids with disabilities, now that I've done so much advocacy, I know the numbers, and I know how many families of kids with disabilities have exactly zero help. And Americans think that we're taking care of everybody. They think that we're giving families the support that they need to be able to live a decent life. We think as taxpayers that, oh, we've got that problem knocked, and if there's a few people who are falling through the cracks, well, it's probably because they didn't fill out the right paperwork or something. Bullshit. Most families don't have anything. 80% of families don't have any support at all. Not even a school program that really works for their kid. So I guess for me, the experience of having a kid with a disability is a lot of being angry about how people are treated. And I've tried not to do that. That's one thing I learned from Ed. Ed used to say all the time, use your anger, use your anger, use your anger. And I always said, dude, I'm a Norwegian girl. Don't talk to me about anger. You don't want to see an angry Norwegian. The word berserk, that's a Norwegian word, right? I don't want to be an angry advocate. I didn't want to be a mother from hell. The people at my son's school used to call me the nice lady from hell. I liked that. I thought that was a good way to go about it. But underneath, there's this layer of just being angry at how much you are both rejected and then assumed that we can own you. That was the thing about Ed that I thought was the most important. His advocacy, I know what he did on a systems level, I know what he did in California, great, fine, really important. The advocacy that made a difference to me was the personal connection of a man with really significant disabilities and his ability to connect to people with disabilities and to parents with a kind of personal care and charisma that made you feel like the truth is really that your approach matters and your feelings matter. Most advocates don't have that approach. It's really hard to get there. I don't think I have it. I'd like to have it, but it's not something you just pick up.